to talk about an amazing documentary, The Game Changers. Now, I do not know if you have seen this or not. I do not know what your stance on eating a plant-based diet versus a Western diet is. I am not here to push my beliefs on anyone, but I am here to tell you that this documentary was amazing. It was amazing because it does not shove animal rights down your throat. It does not make you feel terrible if you consume meat. It is strictly giving you the scientific proof as to why there are tons of athletes out there that have switched over from eating animal products to a more plant-based diet. Now, the man who was basically doing this documentary, he was injured. He had a very active job. I think he taught self-defense. So he started doing a ton of research and, trying to figure out the quickest way to recover and to gain his strength. And he stumbled across the fact that the Roman gladiators, our very first legit athletes, were vegetarian. So that was baffling to him. And he started doing more and more research. He did over 1,000 hours of research. And this research all pointed to the fact that this is the one diet that you can eat that cures pretty much everything at the same time. It's like when you're diabetic, they put you on a low sugar, low carb diet. When you have high cholesterol, they eliminate the cholesterol. When you have autoimmune disorders, they have you eat this way. This is the only one that cures it all at the same time. That just goes back to the fact that when we eat plants as opposed to animal products, we are reducing inflammation in our body. When we eat animals, you don't have any clue what is going on in that animal's body. You don't know how long that animal was rotting on the side of the road before they cut into it and made it into the processed meat that you're consuming. It's truly scary when you think about the things and the steroids, the hormones that you can be consuming just from eating a nice, delicious steak or a piece of chicken. So when you eat plants, you are not inflaming your body at all. And that really is the root of all aging, disease, aches, pains, inflammation in the body, oxidation, oxidative stress, free radical damage, all that stuff that we are trying to combat on a daily basis. It's truly inevitable that it's going to happen, but we need to figure out a way to try to reverse it, and doing it in my opinion, in a free, easy way. It's just through nutrition. So you can only consume so many supplements, and supplements really don't do that much. They may tell you, oh, this is, pomegranate juice and it combats free radicals. Okay, but on what degree? Like, I'm going to have to chug a lug all day, every day in order to really make an impact in my inflammation, here. So, but they also had Arnold Schwarzenegger on there, and he was saying that, I'm sorry guys, but marketing is everything. And I hope to goodness that people do not believe that eat meat, be a man, but they showed like the Hungry Man commercial and the Whopper, and it's always like a man, like be meat, eat tons of meat and don't be so like wussy and eating like the greens. Well, they're realizing that some of the top athletes are eating nothing but plants. And they had the Tennessee Titans on there. So there was one guy whose wife was actually a vegan chef. So he was just vegan because his wife cooked for him. He loved it. And then his buddies at first were kind of making fun of him. And then they started coming over and eating dinner, and they loved it. And then they noticed that their speed was improving, their strength was improving, and they had the best season ever that year. And they had 14 guys convert from Western diet over to plant-based. And that was the best year that they've had for, for their, what word am I, not execution, for their, I don't know, you know what I'm talking about. But amazing. And also so they've had boxers on there, they've had trainers, they had firefighters. That's another thing. They said that about 67 or maybe it was 76% of the deaths amongst firefighters, it's due to cardiac death. And the number one way that we can help our chances of not getting that is through nutrition. That we have total control over our cardiac health through eating plants or through eating meat. And they even showed you the difference between the two. So they took 2 vials of blood, they fed someone a meal, just one meal full of meat or animal products. I think there was cheese, there was meat, and then the other one was a vial of blood after they ate just a plant-based. And you could see it was night and day. So not all fats are created equal. That's another thing I want to stress, because I eat a ton of fat. I eat a ton of fat through, nuts and sometimes avocado and vegan butter and things like that. And it is not processed in the body the same way as if I am eating a gristly steak and I'm eating tons of, cheese. It is completely different how it is recognized in our body, because it is not a foreign substance. When we are eating something from another species, our body views it as an invader. And so that's detrimental to a lot of things. And that's where all this inflammation can be kicked up tenfold. So, but the last thing I do want to say is that was kind of hearing this from I don't know if he was the world's strongest man, but he's won a ton of strongest man competitions. This man was huge, muscles for days. They also have bodybuilders that are vegan that are on this documentary. Very good documentary. But this one power lifter, he said that people just are amazed when they realize that he is vegan. And they ask him, they say, how are you this strong? You're strong as an ox and you don't eat meat. How? And he says to them, well, have you ever seen an ox eat meat? So that resonated with me so much, because it's the truth, It's like it doesn't make any sense why we are believing that we must consume meat, animals, to gain our energy for either athletic, endurance sports or just day to day. I mean, you hear people all the time, they're like, well, I don't want to give up meat because I need my energy. And that is marketing. That is just these marketers telling you that you need to put fuel in your body from animals in order to get you through the day. So, and then another thing that I want to mention too is the fact that when we are looking at cleanses for the body, detox, a cleanse, it's different name, same thing. Why do you think it's always centered around plants? Fruits, veggies, plants. It's not telling you to drink milk and then have a piece of cheese and then cut into your chicken. There's never anything like that in a cleanse, okay? So that's just something to think about as well. I know I'm terrible at reading. The name of the documentary is The Game Changers, and it's on Netflix. So, but meat isn't for energy. True. Carbs are the main source. Bingo! Carbs are the main source. I consume so many carbs now. I would have been terrified years ago. I really would have. I would have been like, there is no way I'm going to blow up. I'm going to be lethargic. But that's the thing, is that people view carbs as bad. No. Carbs are not all created equal, as we all know. It's all about low glycemic choices overall, looking at the overall picture of the meal and balancing our proteins. So that's one thing I want to mention, is that not all vegans are very aware of balancing. They just eat what's not an animal. And that's not healthy. That's not healthy, and I will be the first to admit it. That's why I think vegans get a bad name, because there's a lot of malnourished vegans out there. But I am here to tell you that you can build muscle, maintain muscle. I think I've maintained muscle pretty darn well in 2.5 years. So there you go. If you guys have any more questions about anything, let me know. But I know I've had a lot of DMs from people asking about my take on it. If I have any words of advice or any places I would send them if they're just embarking on their journey. So I may put together a little ebook, like a plant-based beginner ebook. If you guys are interested in that, then let me know, reach out to me, and I can make sure that you get that. I'll make it for free. And that's it. So if you guys have any other questions, let me know. Have a good week. Make it a good week.